Hello everybody, Cynesk111 here, and welcome back to an unexpected form. No, just kidding. Welcome back to more Not for Broadcast. This is the Support Both run where I have to support both Advance and Disrupt. Okay, so on to the next day, which is day 3, an unexpected form. You arrive home to find post on the mat. I've seen this before, and I've done this several times, so I'm just gonna answer randomly. Okay, the rest of the questions are left for you to complete. They appear to be mandatory. All of a sudden I have the urge to burp a little. So, sorry if you... And hiccup too. Great. Okay. I'm gonna hold my breath while going through this questionnaire. That should be the hiccups gone. Okay, so on to what I want to talk about real quick before the next broadcast begins. If you've seen my Support Neither run, part 2, you may remember that I haven't given my passport away to Chris. And that is exactly what I am going to do now. I still think it is a little weird for me to not read any of this. And I feel like I have to, starting at some point. I literally work in news, Chris. Actually now. Chris's fist bangs at the table. It's total BS. Taking whatever they want and distributing it as they see fit. No government should have that kind of power. Madness. Why do I get the feeling I'm not gonna like this? I can't give you that. It's illegal. Surely there's another way. It can't be that serious. No, it's against the law, Chris. I can't help you with that. Just a quick fast forward. I'm sorry if I'm going through this too fast for you to comprehend, but I just want to get this done. I want to be over with this game, like, this week. Either this week or going into next week. I've been exhausted recording this with my iPhone. Just this one last run. Anyway, what was I going to talk about? I know that it has something to do with the relationships with your family. Yeah. If you remember in the Support Neither run, I have tried to not give Chris my passport, like I did just now. Okay, well, I didn't really give Chris my passport, I'll have you know. This run. Oh gosh, that's a lot to comprehend. There was an... I'll just get to it in the next episode. Sorry for the awkwardness. But again, I do want to support both Advance and Disrupt in this run.
With the Assets and Wealth Act on the brink of raising living standards for the vast majority of the country, I'll be asking my guests if we're on the way to a new future. Out with the old, Remington Smith have appointed Sophia Remington as their new CEO. The following photo, taken from our archive, gives us a sense of this influential young firebrand who, at the tender age of 23, becomes the youngest female CEO in history. Sophia Remington's appointment is a risk for the giant mega corporation. Sophia, as our regular viewers will be aware, has always been a wild child and has been romantically linked to several movie stars and sports personalities. In her first press conference this afternoon, Sophia announced a children's toy named Mr. Snagglehugs. Sophia promises it'll be all the rage this Christmas, but concerns have been raised about the product's safety. Making a splash, intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong and marine biologist Ingrid Swarsborgen-Horgensford have today set off to explore Dante's taint. The recently discovered cave system was previously thought unreachable, but thanks to a new breakthrough in underwater flower technology...
I was about to choose the feud one, but I did all of what I want. But I did both headlines of that.
Only the latest in a series of successful expeditions...
So I chose the cooperation headline.
In a joint statement about the dangers their team might face, the pair stated, "We will face the plentiful challenges together, like we always have."
As a team, I bet.
Rumors abound as sporting legend Johnny Hamsleeves is snapped leaving Bush.
Okay, I did everything in the first headline, so the next headline is where we're going now.
As reported by this very program. And judging from the angle and velocity of that spray, it looks like Johnny may have been celebrating a little bit too much. I certainly wouldn't want to be his dry cleaner. And grievous bodily charm. With advance promising a radical new position on crime, how afraid should we actually be? I'll be going live around the country to talk with people who've seen the criminal justice system.
I don't really like how audible that
With more and more people saying
that headline countdown timer is
could this be exactly the right
before you select anything.
All that, a mega move for the group of young actors already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets and Wealth Act.
Okay, there's the title sequence down there.
Talking and performing later. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News. In the wake of the government's swift enactment of the Assets and Wealth Act, we're talking
Okay, all the tapes loaded up I want.
and what the new future holds. Johnny
Okay, Advanced Go-Getters, Alan James, and Crazy Neil.
Alan James,
Good.
author of Alan James is Right, The Free Man's Guide to Waking Up. Alan, the
Was kind of sidetracked from changing angles there.
legislation they promised. But what does the Wealth Act mean for us?
Nothing, Jeremy. We're still vassal slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
A confident dismissal there. Katie Brightman, do you agree?
I'm afraid I don't, no. I think that Vance have realised the current economic system of unlimited, unending growth is untenable, so they're changing things up.
There I agree with you. They're moving to the next steps in the grand plan.
Grand plan, Alan.
It's all in my book. Alan James is right, Jeremy. We're to become the great herd. Ignorant, sterile, and short-lived. That's what they want.
Or perhaps Advance have just realised that if we carry on the way we are, we will destroy ourselves and this planet in a mad orgy of consumption, if you'll excuse the colourful metaphor.
Yes, orgy is the right word. Only it'll be the overlords having an orgy on our poor broken backs. It's all in my book. Alan James is...
Shamelessly self-promoting. Katie, how do you think the rest of the world will respond to this new approach?
I think they're watching carefully. Advance are the most disruptive threats
So,
that the world
book.
powers have faced since the last Great War.
Yes, Katie's right. War is inevitable.
Thank you, but that isn't
And
what
this will not be a war like we've ever seen before. We're talking millions of deaths. We're talking high-tech weapons that can level entire cities. We're talking...
Out of the wrong orifices?
Mock me all you like, Jeremy, but when they murder your parents and they poison your food and they take you away to their camps for hypno-brainwashing, who will be laughing then?
That might be a great way to sell books, Alan, but you know full well that isn't going to happen in a democracy.
Democracy is dead.
Yes, Advance are radical, and change is always frightening, but the truth is that the Wealth and Assets Act has made more than 90% of the population wealthier and is on target to produce a permanent end to poverty.
Bollocks! this young lady doesn't understand, Jeremy, is that these are the same people. Maybe they've rebranded, but it's all a little circus act to keep us from seeing the tyrant behind the curtain.
That's where you're wrong, Alan. For a start, they've mobilised the youth vote like we've never seen before.
You say mobilise, I call it grooming. The grooming of an entire generation to walk happily into eternal bondage. They're like psychic paedophiles.
But based on the facts, Katie, what are your positions?
The Assets and Wealth Act is only the first step. Advance now have a historic budgetary surplus, and as well as properly funding our public services, they're already funneling unprecedented amounts into scientific research and the arts.
Or, as I call them in my book, Frankenscience and opiates. Like opiates, see?
Can we get back to the issue at hand, please, Alan?
This is the issue. It's all coming from the water, the chemicals. They're pumping it full of belief juice.
Don't get me wrong, I want to see these changes, but only if they're sustainable. If Advance lose their power after spending half of our GDP on dismantling infrastructure, that could be catastrophic.
The catastrophe is that they're succeeding. They've got us sat here talking about their puppet show.
All right, we're running out of time. Quickly, Alan, what does the future look like to you?
A bleak space where we've all been figuratively sodomized into submission.
Oh, of course. Katie?
We might be on the eve of a brave new world. God knows we need some change, but we need to be cautious. Let's walk forwards with our eyes open.
Two very different visions of the future there. Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me. When we come back, I'll be investigating law and order before Megan meets some beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act. That's all coming up tonight on the National Nightly News.
1 minute back.
Alrighty then.
Our children are our future. Advance knows this, and we're here to help. The new Advance Go-Getters initiative will ensure that every young person enjoys the abundance of benefits that only a true community can provide, while keeping us informed of all the ups and downs to help make things even better.
I only got a segment grade of A.
Activities available.
It's not really good enough in my books, but whatever.
With the Go-Getters, you can be sure that your children will be well equipped in the march towards progress. After all, there's nothing better than moving forwards. The Advanced Go-Getter. Forwards together.
Welcome back. In our second segment, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the state of law. Advance have a what task will they
Oh boy.
Advance have a what task will they are calling to move this serious
Didn't know if I was gonna get to the interference in time before I put my water down.
Tonight, we go behind the head of our justice system every day of their lives. First up, we have Gregory Judge, a lawyer who sees the problems close up on the front line. Can you hear me, Gregory?
Yes, I've got you, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
What's it like on the front line of the hard face of the cold hand of justice?
Well, as you can imagine, Jeremy, we are massively understaffed in this country. We're working every hour we can just to try and cope with the caseloads on our desks.
Which must affect the quality of support you can offer.
Well, we can barely keep up with the
Okay.
Jeremy.
And I'm already out of water.
Being done at a systemic level to relieve the prog. We need more support from ministers. What are you doing? Oh, we need change.
Okay, the audience difficulty is on hard, so I'd best not screw this up too bad.
I'll be at my mother's.
Just hang on. Oh, the problem isn't a local one, Jeremy. It's nationwide. Just give me 5 minutes. I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson.
Oh, have you mentioned your affairs?
No. Well, the affairs of the Justice Department that we should be concerned about.
Hello, Mr. Donaldson.
Hello, Mrs. Judge.
We need legislation to relieve the pressure on our public.
Sorry to interrupt the news, Mr. Donaldson. Can I have a moment to tell my husband I'm leaving him?
Yes, I totally understand. Quite the picture of a burdened legal sector there. Gregory Judge, thank you for joining us. Next, I'm joined by Police Chief Constable Bob Peel, a man with a very different perspective on our nation's crime. Do you think there's a problem with the system, Bob?
I'm sure we all do, Jeremy. I am sure we all long
This is the part with the GIMP again.
safely walk the streets of your community at night, looking in through windows and generally enjoying your neighbours without the risk of being terrorised by some thug with a knife. Or Gosh.
So you feel the streets simply aren't safe anymore? Where have we gone wrong, Bob?
Well, that's not a simple question, Jeremy, but I think it all comes down to moral decay. We've diluted our culture and lost touch with what it means to be a citizen of this once great country. Also, as the vicar noted in Sunday's sermon, we probably shouldn't have banned hanging.
And to what do you attribute this moral decay?
Foreigners, gays and gypsies mainly. It's all in the Bible. Look, Leviticus clearly states that... Oh, bugger.
This world's Bible must be different than ours.
Delia, could you give me a little help, please, dear?
Although, I already knew that.
As I was saying, Jesus didn't like immigrants much, did he?
And just to be clear, you think it's the immigrants who are responsible?
I think you'd probably censor that part out in real life.
Jeremy, back in your box,
Part where Jesus didn't like immigrants.
I really could use a little help with this.
I'm sorry, darling. I was spaying the badgers.
Yes, I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson. Clive, could you put him back in the box?
Oh, Clive, you know it's Wednesday. You go back in your gift space. Off you go.
Whose responsibility is it to make a change, Bob?
Well, it is certainly not the responsibility of the decent, good, white people.
Darling, where's the padlock?
Oh, hold on just a moment.
Oh, Clive, this simply won't do. Naughty, naughty, naughty boy.
I really don't want to show this, but at the same time I do.
Mummy said get back in your gift space. No! Naughty, you beast cut.
As I was saying, Jeremy, moral decay. Crime is the responsibility of the criminal, no one else. Look, everyone has a sob story, but we don't all end up as barbarians, do we? Look, when our daughter Alice comes home with an A-, does she go on a killing spree? No, she takes 3 of the pills and hides under the stairs like a normal child.
And have depression.
We're locking down the police's position on morality points. And finally tonight, hopefully uninterrupted, it's time to get to the heart of the matter. Tony Dawson has recently been released from prison after serving 3 years for aggravated assault, burglary, and menacing a swamp. He's agreed to talk to us today, which is also, I believe, his birthday. Many happy returns, Tony.
Cheers, Jez. Call me Titwag Tony. Everybody else does.
No, I'm not going to be doing that. Can you tell us what it's like in prison, Tony?
Titwag Tony. Hey! Prison's a mixed bag. The structure's quite nice, but it's a constant battle against institutionalization, as you can imagine. And obviously, Titwags are quite hard to come by.
I'm picking up that you're not alone there, Tony.
Titwag Tony. Hey! Yeah, sorry, my friends are throwing me a surprise party. Good bunch of lads.
Okay, well, we're trying to get back to that party as soon as possible. First, let me ask you this. Do you feel that your time spent in prison helped to rehabilitate you in any way, Tony?
Titwag Tony! Hey! I don't think it's as easy as that, Jez. I think asking that is an oversimplification.
It sounds like it's getting quite busy there, Tony, but let's try and soldier on. Since leaving custody, have you been able to find a new job?
Yeah, all the boys are here. Big Chris, Little Chris, and Vampire Chris.
Aye, aye.
This one's, yeah?
Yep.
One sec, love. Shit went totally on the news. Rehabilitation's difficult with the current system, Jez. It's just not set up for it, you know? It's inherently unjust.
So, do you feel tempted to... I'm sorry, who's this now?
You are joking. Chrissy Peabody has only got Mr. Fancy, oh. Not now, fellas. I'm on the news.
It seems like we've caught you at a bad time.
The little boy.
Oh, I can't really hear you, mate. It's getting a bit busy here.
I can tell.
Yes, we seem to be losing a signal here, Tony.
Fucking way, lads. Believe that.
Well, we're just trying to get that signal back. I think we... Yes, Tony? Tony, I think we're... 2 seconds. How does this happen, Tony? Can you hear me? Well, we seem to have lost our train of thought there a little.
Okay.
Hopefully you, the viewer at home, have managed to gain a broader understanding of the serious and complex issues around law and order. After the break, Megan will be live with some lucky young thespians. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back, everybody.
Here's our next Alan James advert.
Alan James. Alan James is right. Alan James is right. Alan James is right in front of you. I don't want to
In front of me.
There must be something in the food. I don't want to upset you, but you should weep for the world.
Decided to give you a little scare there, didn't I? Sorry, I promise not to do that again.
Welcome, Slack. I'm Megan Wolf, and on tonight's Culture Spot,
I forgot to select an angle before the broadcast began again.
Well-backed. A team of inspiring young people from Scritchford Sixth Form College who today received a grant from Advance to take their play, Hey, Friendship, on a tour of local secondary schools. Welcome to you all. Well, let's start with you two, Harriet and Charlotte Winstanley-Hamilton. Girls, you must be thrilled.
We are, Megan. We're overwhelmed, to be honest.
And I believe you two are sisters, is that right?
Yes, Charlotte's my oldest. I'm the older, more popular one.
Harriet and Trey were really the ones who came up with the whole idea. So, Harry and I were shooting the breeze in the cafeteria, and I said, hey, let's actually do something.
So I went to look for a drama teacher.
But she'd been laid off due to budget cuts. Fortunately, I directed a pantomime when I was at university, so I knew the ropes, as it were.
Right, yes, but you're the maths teacher, aren't you?
Yes, that's
Something tells me I'm also going to regret setting the audience to hard.
Yeah, thanks.
As is theatre. It's one of the oldest art forms in history, Aristotle. I just think that when we travel around all these problem schools and the poor kids see us, they say, hey, I really want to be like those attractive kids. And that's a very beautiful and powerful thing. We touch our audiences, and they touch us right back.
I suppose with a surname like Algebra, there was really only one choice of career for me. My wife, Angela, and I, we often laugh about it.
Angela Algebra.
Yes. We just want to bring a bit of song and joy into people's lives.
And teach people about the difficult issues. The issues in the play are what really matter.
And I think you're going to be showing us an extract from this play, aren't you?
That's right. To put into context, I play a young first year who's having some troubles at school.
Her character doesn't actually have a name, yeah, because in a way she's like all of us.
It's like a metaphor. Maybe she's you at home, or like maybe she's you, Megan.
That's really important. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Put it in, coach. Yes, thanks, Steve.
Right, well, I'm going to have a little chat with your teacher while you run off and get ready. I can't wait to see it. That's it, that way.
Okay.
So, Jeff, when did you first hear about the grant?
2 days ago, a letter from Advance arrived at the school. Now, the headmaster thought it was all a prank, but his secretary retrieved it from his bin and brought it to me.
Wow, how did you react?
I also threw it in the bin. But then, Harriet and Trey rescued it, and they rang the number at the bottom of the page, and next thing you know, we're on tour.
Wow. Well, I think we can all guess which way you'll be voting from now on.
Do you know what? It's funny, because Angela and I don't usually vote. We're not very political. I'm a mathematician, of course, and she's a paraplegic, maybe. But we did used to watch that Peter Clements DIY show back in the day, and so we thought, why not? Let's have a go with this whole democracy thing.
Okay.
And here we valley well are.
Good stuff.
Fucking brilliant!
So, let's have a look at a short section of...
Jeff must be excited for all this.
Dear Diary. I'm not sure I can take another day at this school. Another day of tears. Another day of fears. But still I walk the corridors alone. Dreading what might be around every corner. What's around the corner?
What's around the corner? I wonder.
Oh, hi Gary. Oh heavens no! It's Gary the Fist! Gary the Fist!
Going somewhere, little first year? Great. I've been looking for some poor victim to bully all morning. But will this make me feel better about my violent father?
Excuse me, I'm late for maths. It's my favourite subject. It's so important.
Maths is for losers. What? Maths is for losers? My arm's stuck, coach. Keep going, for fuck's sake! Right, maths is for losers. Now, give me your lunch money. Double lunch for me today, but why am I only truly happy when I'm eating?
Not today, Gary the Fist. Not today.
What do you mean not today? Who are you? My arm's very cold. Brilliant, keep going. Right, who are you to stand up to me? I, Gary the Fist, and you're just a sad little girl with 2 gay dads who's all alone.
That's where you're wrong, Gary the Fist. These are my 2 new friends. Vanessa is captain of the netball team. Yeah. And Blake owns a motorbike.
Yeah. But I can't fight all 3 of you, and I don't have any friends of my own.
Take that, Gary the Fist.
Take a look at me. Take a little look at my face. I could be you. She could be you. You could be me.
Or you could be me.
Life can be peachy keen if you work as a team.
It's my choice to be mean. So stop now, make a different choice.
Hey, listen up, I won't take no crap. Who said middle class girls can't rap? I ain't afraid of your cruel lads. I'm a mother-loving rebel, but I still love maths.
Hey, kids, I'm Gary the Fist. People think folks like me probably shouldn't exist, but that's just prejudice, and I'd do better if you knew the way that I became Gary the Fist. I grew up on a council estate. The park was hip, but the flats weren't great. My dad used to come home drunk and late, and he'd hit my mum for dinner. He had to wait. Where's my dinner?
It's not ready.
Where's my dinner, woman? Don't make me ask you again.
Eating women is wrong.
I guess life's pretty hard on a council estate. 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 It's so damn hard on a council estate. Yeah. Just work as a team.
It's your choice to be me.
It's my choice.
So stop now, make a different choice.
Had to do a zoom in for the last hurrah there, since this is going to be the last performance of the Hey Friendship excerpt from my time with Not For Broadcast.
Join us tomorrow night for all the headlines.
Sure, I'm gonna miss doing this one.
Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
And we're out.
Okay.
So you are the best. I was trying to get your money to buy and make a new one. Put on it some crazy ass Christmas ornaments. We want to give you a spectacular Christmas cactus. You know what it's like? You've run out of things to dress up, and you want your house to look like a Christmas bomb and hit it. Then we got the ornaments for you. You want something like
Okay.
amazing or another cactus.
I believe that about does it for this video. Even though I didn't get to see the entirety of the Crazy Neil advert that played. And as you can see here, this graph went way up towards the end because of the musical section. And I had it maxed out for almost all of it. I received a generous bonus. And I'm no longer broke as poor, but I'm in worrying debt still. Yeah, debt can be pretty pretty darn worrying. Okay. That's it for this video. Now I'm gonna save what I'm gonna tell you that I was going to do in my last part, but I screwed up on tomorrow. I'll tell you that then. Oh, what am I saying? How did I say it? I'm still making my mind. I'm still trying to make up my mind about how I want to say stuff. Just so you know. So forgive me if I say something in a way that you're not going to understand. I do that in most of my videos quite often. I think I need another break. So, until I am ready to move on, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!